So I do have a pretty cool update that I just finally noticed.
And if you want to know why I call her Phantom, it's because she looks like the Phantom of the Opera.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, so it's Monday afternoon, and we're actually back in a normal temp range, but we are over by the steers and their water situation. I'm gonna have to go to Fleckvieh tonight and get a new floating heater. This also forced me to get a different one. There's another one that I used to use, but it's a little more wattage, but it's a different style. And if anything's gonna have more wattage, it's gonna be this guy out here. So I do have quite a bit of ice. Calves all seem to be doing good. Bedding looks great. I mean, yeah, they're a little dirty, but everybody's in good shape. Everybody's looking good. I'm loving these two mic drop heifers. They're like almost carbon copies of each other. This was actually Puffy Face, KM 431. So she's out of a cowboy cut. And then, and then that's 431. She's out of the high roller. And then 75 too, she is looking really good. But these two are like almost carbon copies. It'll be really neat to see how those two develop over the next year. Actually, all three of those three solid blacks will be really neat to see how they develop. So I'm gonna run this until Dad gets his bale and is ready to get the strings cut, and then I'll shut this off, let them suck it dry as much as they can, and then I'll fill it back up again. So this will make these guys pretty happy. We have gone back to feeding them first crop hay versus second, especially now that we want the second crop hay for the calves. The other thing that is still an experiment, an ongoing experiment, are those net wrap bales. So if you remember back to haying season, the Case RBX 451 kind of had a major breakdown towards the end of first crop, and we had to have Zernike Farms came in. They're the ones that do our combining for us. They came in, they baled up some 4x5 net wraps, which, I mean, the baling and everything, that all turned out good. But what we want to see is, one, when we start getting more snow, more ice, that kind of thing, how hard is it for us to take the net wrap off? Because it's a pain in the butt to take off these nylon strings in the snow. And the reason we don't do like thistle twine, like old style twine that like degrades over time, you can just pop the shell off, which we used to do and we love it, is because it's twice as expensive. It's probably in the line price wise of just doing net wrap. So that's why we don't do that anymore. Plus, you want to take the strings off anyways because it gets caught up in the beaters when you spread manure. So that took us to nylon twine because we take the things off anyways and it's cheaper. And we want to get to net wrap because we think it'll overall be easier, and then you get the savings and the quality of hay. So that's our experiment this winter. So since I have the 2030 running, which I tried to start it yesterday and I couldn't. I think the starter was actually locked up a little bit, but I got it started today. Had it running. It's been running for the last half hour or so, 45 minutes. But still got some garbage I got to get out of here in the tractor shed area, but I got it enough moved over there because this guy's going right here. This tractor shed's still kind of a work in progress because our old tractor shed was right there where the new fence area was. This used to be an old, like we called it, our granary. The 29 just fits in here. The 2030 fits in here really well. So we're gonna put him in here and he can sit there till we need him again. And that way he's out of the wind, he's out of the elements, all that good stuff. And this time he's going back there in good working condition. All right, he's in his home. This is the spot we wanted him to be in anyways, because it's even tighter over here with the 29, and we need to be able to get in here for the air compressor or just whatever. That's also why I backed it into just a lot. Should be a lot nicer, but it's nice to have him, nice to have a 2030 back where he belongs. All right, so that pretty much wraps up today. We're gonna go lights out and call it a day. Catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Tuesday afternoon, December 3rd, and today just happens to be Dad's birthday. So, happy birthday, Dad. You'll see this in like 3 weeks, but you know, happy birthday. I already wished him a happy birthday, but I did say as a little bit of a birthday present that I would take care of feeding tonight. Not that that's a super huge deal, but it's a little something. So, all right. So like I said last night, ran to Fleet and they had the one that I was thinking of. So we used to use this style, and I'll pull it out, but it is a little bit bigger wattage. That's what it is. At least if it works, cool. If it doesn't, I don't know yet. So we're gonna try it out. We'll throw it in, get this going. I got a lot of ice to break because this is what we're dealing with right now. If I'm going to use a higher wattage one, it's going to be on this tank out here, because this one is out in the elements. Inside, it's out of the wind, all that stuff. It's a little bit insulated, so not as big a deal. But this one, I'm okay using a bigger wattage one. So let's get this installed, get some water running. These guys are probably thirsty, so we're probably going to find out pretty quick. I forgot my tester. It's in the milk house, but let's get this going first. All right, so that's got quite a bit to go yet. So I got it plugged in. I probably don't need to do silage tonight, at least for these guys. Steers, bulls need a little bit. They need a little bit, which is okay. I did get two of these heaters. They were on sale, so figured why not. And then I have 2 of the donut ones coming from Amazon. They were also on sale, so figured might as well just have them on stock. Yeah, these guys are drinking, so it must not, if it's giving off anything, it's not giving off enough to bother them. One bale day for the cows, and I got them on this other side of this drain ditch so we can start getting some of this fed in too. Everybody was smart enough to go around the drain ditch and try not to cross it, but we're just gonna do a once over. A couple of the girls missing their tags, like Phantom over there. She's missing her tag. I know exactly who she is. Nobody else looks like her.
And if you want to know why I call her Phantom, it's because she looks like the Phantom of the Opera with the, you know, half white going right down the middle. So pretty soon, and Bethany bugs me too if I've ever told the story why we call photo. I'll get to that one too. That one's a little bit more involved. But Phantom, it's because she looked like the Phantom of the Opera thing. So that's why we always called her that. And I even joked with my grandma when she was born. I said, you want to know why that blaze is off to the side? I go, it's because it starts out in the middle and she just came out so fast it slid off to the side. So she liked it. She got a chuckle. So, you want to know why the blazes are off to the side? That's why. Yeah. So that's why we call her Phantom. She's got that white on the side of her face. I've got a great video of her when she was just a little stinker. And she might have not even been a week old, and she was in the barn. It was raining outside, and she would run outside, stop right away, and she'd sprint back, and she did that like for 5 or 10 minutes. It was hilarious. She's been a really nice mom. Really nice cow. Alrighty. It is Wednesday afternoon. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked yesterday. But we are out here and I am checking on our heater, which that is not what I expected from a 1200 watt heater. I expected quite a bit more open. God, that sucks. So we'll run and we'll top that off, and hopefully that makes them happy, at least for right now. I don't know why. That kind of boggles my mind a little bit, why that would do that. All right, but today with the wind the way it's coming, we're just gonna feed them in the feeders, but at least they can eat out of the wind a little bit better than if we took them out in the middle of the field. So that's kind of the plan of attack for today, and then kind of see where we're at ground feed wise and corn silage wise. And if you can see it, you can see all the snow blowing across the field. We had just gotten a gust that went across this field, so that's pretty much why we're not feeding out in the field. You go from you can see it a mile to you can't see 100 yards sometimes. So it tends to pick up quick. It must pick up speed when it comes down into our bowl. So yeah, so it starts to kind of look like that. It picks up quick, and if you don't want to stand out in it, they might not want to either. They're better equipped for it, but it's nicer in here. They didn't complain too much when Dad started feeding in the feeder. They turned around real quick. So even though there are all the benefits of feeding out in the field, getting more manure on the field and not putting it up here where you gotta pick it up with the bucket and all that stuff and spread it on the field, the nice thing about these feeders is they do save some hay. Now we do pop the shells, we do that. Again, that's just to spread everything out. But the hay in the feeder, they definitely, if there's one thing about these feeders, they're good for saving hay. I've talked about the negatives where they start to kind of trench around it, becomes like a ring around it. So that's one negative about these. Now that it's nice and firm out here, you really won't see that. Unless you start getting a lot of snow, and then they'll start berming up that snow. But so I do have a pretty cool update that I just finally noticed, and it wasn't like this yesterday. So that his right side, your left side as you look at it, that horn is basically all off. I think it's literally hanging on by the band is grabbing onto a little bit of hair, and it's just flopping there. There's no visible running blood or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Granted, it's taking a little longer than I thought. What was it? Early October? So, about 2 months. So a little longer, but that's all right. But, oh well, that's enough for today because I'm going to get out of this wind. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Thursday afternoon. And what are we hovering on? We're on, it is December 5th. So yeah, well into December. So we're gonna check on this heater over here. And wow, yeah, this heater sucks. So that's not a good sign. A brand new heater doesn't heat, and we're in the mid 20s. There should be absolutely no reason any marginal heater can't heat. So I might swap it out for the other one. Maybe it's just a bad heater. All right, so we plugged this guy in, and it's already getting warm. Okay, the steers are thirsty. Even though I only have like an inch to fill up. There's like 4 of them trying to drink. So I'm just gonna let that run full blast. If it overflows a little bit, not a big deal. So we'll just deal with it, let them drink. That's more important. So Dad and I were actually just talking about how these calves don't seem to be eating a lot of hay, which means between ground feed and corn silage, we're meeting all of their requirements. If you want to keep their intake balance decent, then you want them to eat a little bit more hay. Because what we had done the last time is we split up a bale between the 2 feeders. So we're thinking maybe we need to tail back just a little bit on the corn silage, so that one, maybe they'll clean their bunks just a little bit more, and also finish their hay a little bit more. We got trace blocks, but we don't have Lewis, do we? Do we, kiddo? This is our yearling heifer, True Justice, out of that AL or LA 53. And LA 53 was we had a triple C Bettis son, and he was out of that one. I think was he triple C? I think he was a triple C Bettis out of a power drive cow. He was a really nice bull. Until we started using getting Bruno calves. The Bruno calves are the only ones that have rivaled the vigor at birth that we got out of that triple C Bettis bull. So they were very spunky at birth. We literally had one calf that was 3/4 of the way up by the time she got out, all the way out. She was trying to stand up on her front legs as she was on her way out. She was that spunky. So, and other calves, they were up within
10-15 minutes, easy. Nursing 5 minutes later, just, they were really good calves. We have a couple of descendants from that bull. PZ313, PZ's out of that bull, and she continues to have really good calves. So as our senior cow, I'll see if I can get you guys a good view of that horn. Right there. I think the band is sticking to some hair, but it's a little scab. That's all that's there, and the horn's just dangling there. There's nothing to it. And then this guy on this side, probably about a week away. So it's coming off pretty darn clean. You can't really complain about those results. Somebody might, but hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. All right. Checking on the water heater situation. So if you remember yesterday, I put that little donut heater in there, and that's what our situation looks like right now. So the little donut guys right here. The floater's kind of free. I gotta free up the cable, and then we'll figure out what the hell's going on with that thing. So here's the steer with the horns, and I think it's just the rubber bands are hanging on to some hair, but his left one has popped off too. See that? It's just dangling there. So it's literally, there's not even there's no visible blood, nothing. It just looks like a little scab, and that's it. I think the rubber band's literally just hanging on to some hair next to his horn. So they are both off. Took about 2 months, right? Because we vaccinated early October and we're into early December. So about 2 months, 8 weeks, give or take. But worked just fine. So that was cool. All right, so let's test this guy out to make sure it actually heats up. We're gonna plug this in over here. It's getting warm. It is getting good and warm. Oh yeah, I mean it is getting hot. Yeah, oh yeah, that's getting hot. So, yeah, I mean it works. And you can see, so here's, obviously power cord. This is like epoxy. So it's the power source going in is like completely, it's encapsulated, totally sealed. And then the juice goes into this coil here and goes all the way around the perimeter, and then comes out here and goes all the way around the perimeter. So you can spin this guy off, and it's filled with foam, so that's what gets you your float. So this would just sink, because this is, I guess I'm gonna assume it's aluminum, because it transfers heat like crazy. So if you just put this in without this, then this guy's just gonna sink. So it's sink or swim mode. All right, so at least this works. So I think the best news of the week is that our banding of the horns worked perfect. It took a little bit longer, and honestly, they're literally just dangling there. It's like his little badge of honor. It's like they popped off, and he's like, and I'm hanging on to them as long as I can. But no, that's really good. And like I said, it's literally just two little scabs. He has never missed a beat since we put the bands on. So we're gonna call this the end of the day, end of the video. It is Friday, so hope you guys had a great week. Hope you have a good week coming up. I hope you guys liked the video. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments as always. And don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for coming along.